Whoa, hello, it's me, it's Derpket, and yeah, welcome back to another video about plugins. So today I'm gonna be talking about Shade. So UVI have hooked me up with this plugin, and today I'm gonna show you some cool stuff and review it and stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. So what is Shade? So Shade is basically an EQ with many cool features, such as a follower that follows your sound in some sort of cool way, which I don't know how it works. It also has a two-dimensional LFO, which is called a figure, I believe, which lets you make cool shapes, and yeah, I really love that. As you can see, it can go really fast up to 300 hertz, which is that's pretty quick. You also have envelopes and normal LFOs and MSEGs. Excuse me if I don't say it correctly, but yeah, this is basically like the Serum's LFO. Blah blah blah. You can custom shapes and stuff. Nice. So yeah, that's pretty neat and all. It also has spreading, which I believe is stereo spreading. So let's say I make a band, so I can basically just take that and then drag it onto one parameter, and then I can like change the stereo, as you can see. So right, left, yeah. Let's see. And now let's take a sound. Let's take Vital. I'm gonna do a video about Vital soon, by the way. So yeah, as you can see, it's a bit stereo from the vector scope. Excuse me, hold on, let me just remove some folders real quick. Okay, yeah. As you can see, the more I increase it, the more stereo it has. Anyway, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Oops. And yeah, so now let's get into the filters. So as you can see, you have a low pass, you have a high pass, you have notches, you have band passes, high shelves, low shelves, peaks, phasers, combs, flangers, and spatial. So let's begin with the spatial. So spatial, well, one of them is gain, which honestly can be really useful. So for instance, you can sidechain with it. You can take like you can either do sidechain with automation, or you can trigger the signal from this trigger thingy, which lets you trigger by MIDI, audio, or sync, which I believe this is just synchronizing to the DAW. And then you have a source, direct, or sidechain, and sensitivity, which I will get to later. So you have combs and flanges. Let's take the multi-resonant because they are my favorite. As you can see, they have really cool shapes. You can make it really sloppy, in really steep shapes, which gives tons of phase delay, but who cares? This is a flanger. It's pretty poggers. Let's take the phaser. Let's play with the phaser. You know what? I'm gonna take the notch resonant. So as you can see, the sloppier it is, the more little spikes it has. My bad, I think it's in the multi-resonant. Let's see. There we go. Yep. That's pretty cool. So let's get into normal EQing stuff and not some custom cool filters. Each of the filter shapes have a mod called resonant, as you can see, which is pretty much normal. Let's take the EQing version. If you make it really like, if you make the decibels per octave really aggressive, as you can see, there is no resonance in here because this is for EQing. And this is one of the most useful things out there because, as you can see, for EQing, you don't want a resonant because it's gonna make things resonate. And yeah, even though I did not know that you can modulate the resonances, that's pretty cool. So yeah, those are useful. And as you can see, some of them have multi-resonant, which depends on your decibels per octave. The more decibels per octave is, the more resonances will be. So this is like kind of a phaser, you know. And this is just one resonance, you know. Pretty simple stuff, pretty good stuff. And yeah, you have this in the low pass version, etc, etc. And yeah, you also have peaks, which are for EQing. They don't have resonance, which honestly I don't know where the resonance is in a resonant EQ peak. Okay, I see. So this is kind of like a serum's band reject, which is pretty neat. Let's see if I can make that. I believe it's 12. No, let's make it 6 and my bad. 12. Let's make it Y. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's about it about filters. You have many filters. It will take a day or two to get to all of them. Not really, but yeah. You also have this steel thingy, which is really cool. Really neat. So let's get into the more technical stuff, such as the follower and the mid sides of the EQ and all of those buttons. And yeah, so let's take 3 random curves. Let's take, you know what, a high shelf and a bend, a peak, excuse me. And yeah, so as you can see, when you open up the modulator section, you have these thingies on the modulators. So what each of the buttons do, this one means that the follower is gonna follow the frequencies around 1.69 nice hertz. As you can see, it follows it, and you can adjust the threshold and the range and how sensitive it is. As you can see, it creates spiky waveforms because this is a saw wave, and the release and attack are really quick. You can also include stereo if your source has stereo, so let's make that. I don't really know what difference it does. You cannot really see it in here, but yeah, it does something. So you also have this, which is basically sidechain. So let's get into the sidechaining stuff, because sidechaining is cool, especially with shade. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 instances of Vital. I will call this source or modulator or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then I will enable sidechain. The source will be sidechain. The sensitivity, I will drop it down to 0 because it seems to work the best. And then in here, as you can see, I'm gonna select track 10 because I am on track 10 right now. And then I'm gonna select the source. As you can see, it follows this Vital instance, and you can basically make audio rate modulation that way. So as you can see, the spikes change when I change the pitch of the saw wave. So now let's modulate some stuff. So we enabled sidechain, which means it's gonna be triggered from the sidechain and not from the entire signal. And let's mute the other Vital with utility because we don't wanna hear it, and let's make it a sine wave. So alright, oops, my bad. There we go, that's perfect sine wave. So as you can see, it has those little spike thingies that basically represent the sine wave shape. And that way you can audio rate modulate stuff. So let's make this a bit resonance, you know. Let's take a resonant peak or a low pass. And let's audio rate modulate it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna just drag it on the frequency. As you can see, you can hear that it's audio rate modulation. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I'm not sure that you can do it with any other EQ. So cool. One reason to buy Shade if you want audio rate modulation. I don't know how fast is the audio rate and like if there is a cap or a limit. I believe that this is not the way it's meant to be used, the follower. But yeah, you can do it if you want to. And you also have macros, which are pretty neat because everyone wants a macro. You can choose between bipolar and unipolar modes and blah blah blah. You can macro your stuff, your things. Cool, woohoo. Yeah, you also have a limiter. If you don't want your ears to be destroyed, so you can turn the top and then select the threshold. Let's make mine -30 because yeah, I'm cool. As you can see, the moment it limits, you can see the limiter turning red. The button turns red. As you can see, it doesn't limit anything in here, and that's why it's not red. So, you have cool features such as copy paste, and you can go back, undo, and redo, which are really useful if you accidentally delete a patch. And you also have the settings button, which, well, lets you decide the mix and input gain and output gain, which are pretty neat. I don't know if the mix gives it phase issues, but we will check. No, it doesn't seem like it does give you any phase issues, which is great. Because that way, let's say you make really aggressive curves and you just don't want them to be all the way. That way you can decrease the mix and they will be less aggressive. Pretty cool, pretty neat. So yeah, I mean, that's about it for Shade, and now let's check some patches. As you can see, you can make really crazy stuff with Shade. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, see you.